All right, here we have Lee Epting, the owner of Epting Events in Athens, Georgia. Uh, Lee, how did you get started with your business?
Well, I got started in the food business at Emory University at the fraternity house. We had a kitchen that was losing money and the food wasn't any good, and I took it on as a pledge. And one day I had a alumni come um, to Erskine Caldwell, a writer, a Southern writer, and he was a Phi Delta, and they wanted to have a party for him, so I catered a party. I didn't know that it was called catering back then, and we catered this party for him. I think it was $3 a head, and we had shrimp and tenderloin and all kind of things back then. That was in the late '60s. Um, then I came to Georgia, ran the fraternity house kitchen here as a business, and it ended up running 17 fraternity houses at that time. And then I bought a train station and a dining car. And the dining car, I had to pay for it, so I all of a sudden was in the restaurant business. Uh, so we started a restaurant called The Station, the dining car Valdosta, and that was in '71. And little by little it grew. I sold my restaurant, and after the Olympics in 96, I decided just to do catering, no more restaurants. And it grew, it had grown over the years, little by little, by word of mouth. I never advertised or anything, and because I always had a restaurant as a mainstay, I didn't have to depend on the catering. But by '96, I had enough business to pull out and just do events and catering. So that's where it all started. I bought back when I no, we won't have to talk about that. There's too many things we could talk about. That's basically it.
Okay. Um, while doing all this, or before you got started with the catering, did you ever have a mentor or someone that you asked questions to, or someone that you looked up to or looked to for answers or guidance?
Actually, I wasn't lucky enough to have that. When I jumped into the catering business or the restaurant business, like I say at the fraternity house, it was because it was so bad. I thought anything I could do would be better. Um, I grew up at home back in the '50s in Athens, Georgia. We didn't have a lot of restaurants, and so in my home, we entertained before the football games 20 or 30 people every football game and for holidays. And my mother and the lady that raised me, they would put out great buffets, and we gave great parties, and it seemed like a lot of fun to me just to give parties. So that was as close to a mentor as I ever had, just watching them do it. It was real interesting when I had my first big catering for Eggs Benedict for 500 people. I panicked because I didn't know. I'd never worked in a restaurant. I'd never trained under a chef or anybody. And I had taken a party for 500 people to have Eggs Benedict. Had no earthly idea how to poach 500 eggs. Hell, I didn't know how to poach one egg, much less 500. So I tried several things that didn't work. And the only place I knew they did Eggs Benedict by the thousands was in New Orleans at Brennan's. So I called Steve Brennan up. He laughed and he said, "Why in the world did you take a party that you didn't know how to do it?" I said, "I wasn't going to turn down 500 people. I figured I'd learn one way or another." And he told me, "Well, you just simmer your water, put a little vinegar in the water, and drop your eggs in them, and it will coagulate. And dip it out and put it in an ice bath. put them in the refrigerator and do them ahead of time and heat them up that day. So those kind of things would have saved me a lot of headaches had I gone to school or trained under somebody. But I never had that privilege, so it was by the seat of my pants that I learned.
And finally, do you have any advice for any up-and-coming entrepreneurs, regardless of whatever business they may be getting in?
Internships. They didn't have internships when I was coming along, but I think that's one of the greatest opportunities that one can have. So many people come to me and they want a job, and the first thing they say is, how much are you paying? And that's so dumb, because what you want is the experience. You should pay, they really should pay me to come and learn if they want to go into business, or take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. There are lots and lots of schools, from Athens Tech to just working weekends at some restaurant here in Athens. We got dozens of them. Work for minimum wage and learn everything you can. But the internships, I've had at least 5 people in the last 10 years that have gone into the business or been hired into the business because they came and did a free internship. So I would take advantage of those, working as many opportunities, or take the opportunity of working in as many varied businesses as you can. Don't limit yourself just to one kind of thing. I remember that I had a chef come one time, and I told him we were serving collard greens, and he said he didn't do that kind of food. And I said, well, we're serving the President of the United States. If you would like to work for us, that's fine. If you don't, well, he changed his mind real fast. He decided he would serve collard greens. Of course, nowadays, collard greens and grits are served in New York and San Francisco and all over the world, and it's called fancy food, how they present it. But back then, he considered it beneath him to serve that southern food. So, do everything you can, have a positive attitude toward it, learn everything everybody's got something to teach you. Everybody, from the dishwasher to the chef, has something to teach you. So go in there with an attitude of learning and get the knowledge that's available.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much.